I might love you, I might love you, unlove you, and you're back.
Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Rodrigo with Vibes Bodega. Welcome back to the Vibes Blueprint. Today, we do have a special guest. He is an entrepreneur. He owns a couple businesses in the Bay Area, but I will let him introduce himself. All right, brother.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anthony. Everybody knows me as Tony or Mr. Speeddy. And I'm from Salinas, California.
Salinas, California. All right, brother. So for the people who may not know you, who is Anthony Rios in your own words?
Ruiz, pero in my own words, I'm by the grace of God, married, happily married, 5 kids, 2 special needs.
Okay.
And a father, a brother, a little bit of everything,
Absolutely. And then how did the entrepreneurship first enter into your life?
The entrepreneurship, I think I've probably carried it in me all my life.
Absolutely. And
the only reason I say it is because ever since the young age, my father kind of injected it.
What was your first real hustle growing up?
My first real hustle, probably like the family business, which is selling corn. We used to sell elotes on the street in the east side in Salinas.
Kind of like the cup ones? Just
No,
the
corn in a
ones?
cup.
Oh, right on.
En palo, rebanados, esquites.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Those are always bomb, honestly.
Yeah, that's how we started, actually. That's how everybody knows us in the streets.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, we're known as, everybody, all those eloteros, or...
Absolutely. And then what streets did you used to roam in and walk around and stuff like that? Are you from San Jose?
No, I'm from Salinas. So born and raised.
And raised?
And east side Salinas, actually. And that's where we used to sell our corn on the corner of... We grew up on Del Monte. It's called Del Monte Avenue, but we used to sell on Tel.
Okay.
Del Monte and Tel, in the corner in front of a famous little liquor store called La Michoacana. That's where we were selling.
No, that's a really popular place. Everywhere you go, the Michoacana is really popular.
Yeah. So...
what pushed you to get into multiple businesses instead of just focusing on one business itself?
Well, I think it all goes back to the same thing, how we got brought up, how we never settle for a little bit, every time we kind of conquer something, we're always like, hey, me and my brother, because it's not just me, it's a family-owned business.
What's the name of your brother?
My brother Frankie.
Frankie. Shout out to Frankie.
Shout out to Frankie, yep. And my other brother Robert. Shout out to my brother Robert.
Shout out to Robert.
And all my sisters too,
Right on, right on. How many of you are there?
So there's 3 sisters and 3 brothers. 2 brothers, I'm sorry.
And you guys all had the hustle.
Yeah, I think we all have the hustle one way or another, for sure.
What moment changed your direction and made you all in on business? Like, not just, because anybody else can be doing other stuff, but kind of what made you push yourself to be a businessman?
Kind of the same. When we started selling, corn, we grew up very humbly, proudly, and we saw the need, the necessity. We always wanted to be a little different. So I don't know. I think I just always wanted, a little more, and
Of course. Always provide for the family.
Yeah, always, provide for the family, and I think that's why we keep doing it, for the family.
Absolutely. And what inspired the creation of Canela Cafe?
Canela Cafe has a long story.
We got a little bit of time, but you could always say, what kind of recap it, keep
for
it
sure.
in a short version or however you'd want to.
No, for sure. Canela Cafe, it's a thing that, came out of another thing that was, built. Me and my brother Frankie and my father, we purchased the franchise, a while back, and things didn't work out. So, we took the business decision of rebranding.
Absolutely.
So, we rebranded to Canela Cafe, so we could say we were inspired by them 100%,
What was the biggest challenge when opening this cafe?
The biggest challenge, and this is a big challenge because we're already invested
Absolutely.
Over $500,000 in the existing franchise. So the biggest challenge is always always comes down to money. I guess at the end of the day, we're all,
of course,
we're not rich, we're not millionaires, so we're everybody. We when we purchased that, we thought we were just gonna purchase and that's it. We never purchased and now we have to come in and drop another, $150,000 or
Of course.
whatever it is. So that's one of them for sure. And then, fear of failing for sure. Like what's gonna happen next? Are people not gonna give us the love? Or, people, it's always, it's like everything. It's always scared fear.
Of course. And what made you open up all the way to Santa Maria instead of staying locally in Salinas?
Well, when we go back to us purchasing the other franchise, there was already one local in town, so we cut it.
Got it.
And since we do work in Santa Maria for a painting company, for an ag business out there, we're all there almost every other week. So me and my brother Frank is like, hey, you know what? How come we don't just open one in Santa Maria? We're here all the time. So that's how Santa Maria came up. And honestly, shout out to Santa Maria, it grew into me.
Absolutely. Shout out to Santa Maria for
Yeah.
supporting the small businesses, because not everybody opens up those doors for small businesses to grow.
For sure.
And then what drink represents your brand the most?
In like cold, hot, or
Whichever beverage kind of represents Canela Cafe. This is your time to shine. This is your time to tell the audience. I forgot to mention we are on TikTok live as well, so
for sure.
You could always invite people, anybody watching on
100%.
TikTok live, come to Canela Cafe if you're out in Santa Maria.
Yep, we're right next to the big Ross, and there's a veterinary hospital right next to it, front in Target on Betarrabia.
Okay.
So honestly, the people have actually put it out there for us. We kicked off our rebranding this actually month, so we're pretty fresh. And I always wanted to change the menu a little bit. So we agregamos cosas al nuevo menú.
Absolutely.
And we took off and we went viral. We've been viral. These last couple of days we've been getting nothing but love. A lot of people from TikTok. Shout out to Jessica, Sip and Savoy 805, everybody that I've done collabs with that
Of
come
course.
to TikToks. A lot of people have come out. Oh my God, I saw you on Jessica's page. Oh my God, I saw you on Sip, or whoever.
And that's how social media has been promoting all the small businesses, because honestly, when you least expect it, somebody crosses your path on social media, and they taste you one time and they start telling one person and another person, it starts
For
growing.
sure. Yeah, it starts growing. So that was one of the bigger outcomes that the community has actually came out in support. Oh my God, you different, this and that. Everybody has always something negative and positive to say, but it is what it is, and we just keep on moving. But that's what it is,
Absolutely. And which menu item customers love the most?
To have a drink, it was a ice biscoff latte.
Oh, an ice
Yeah.
scoff latte?
Ice biscoff.
Biscoff?
Yeah, that one, and the champurrado.
Right on.
Champurrado, hot and ice.
Yeah,
both
of course.
things. Yeah.
Of course. And then what's something people don't understand about running a cafe?
Running a cafe. And you mean people like as in business owners, or people as in...
Just anybody, just like not everybody understands, for example, painting, because I'm in the painting business myself. That's my 9 to 5, but not everybody puts into account what it takes to actually painting a room compared to just someone painting a room. There's two different versions.
100%.
Whether you prep it,
Facts.
whether you prep it correctly, or if you just throw some paint on it and just make it look pretty.
For sure. You ever walk into those houses where you're like, oh, they call you for a price, and you walk in and half of the house is half painted?
Pretty
and
much.
They say that we started this and we're willing to pay. And I look at people and I look at them, all the homeowners, because I'm in the painting business too, right? And I'm all like, hey, do you agree that painting's not easy? And they say, 100%.
That's why we called you.
Yeah, that's what we call it. Yeah, that's always a good one.
Yes. We after we saw how much work it was into it, we decided to call a professional, but
sure.
we have all the material and we already covered everything for you, so you just have to paint.
And the brush is still in the bucket halfway.
Oh, and then you take. I've had the occasion where you take out the brush and it's all hard.
Yeah, 100% half. The tips are wet and then the half up dry.
Yeah. So back to my question. I'm sorry. What's something people don't understand about running a cafe, whether they're business owners or they're just customers? What don't they understand that you could kind of give them an insight about it?
Well, I'm gonna start with the business owners. I'm gonna start shooting indirects around here.
Absolutely, 100%.
I think at least from my experience, and and I experienced, because when I say my experience, I actually, been. If you go to a cafe, and you ask me for any drink, I can make you any drink.
Absolutely.
If you ask me for any food, I can make you any food. I can make you anything in my cafe. And a lot of these business owners can't even go in the back and tell you how a torta is being done, or even how to put the pan de queso in the horno. People.
No, I believe it.
That's one. And another one. People. At least me, when we used to sell corn, my dad always taught us customer service.
Of course.
So to me, customer service is like 100, and my brother Frankie's even more on it,
Yeah.
And so we strive for that, and
Absolutely.
a lot of business owners don't understand that. They say, oh, it don't matter, the reviews, or that's just normal. But
No,
to me,
I work a lot on my reviews. Like I tell all my employees, I'm like, if we get a 3 or 4 or like below that, we need something to change in here. Because honestly, customer service, if you leave something really beautiful in a person's house, they're gonna recommend you to their friends, their family, their cousins. Same thing with the food business. They're gonna do the exact same thing.
Yep.
If they came, they ate that torta, that coffee, that chocolate, the bread. They're gonna recommend you and be like, hey, you have to come and check this place out.
for sure. So to me, that's that, customer service. That they don't understand that. They're like, oh, someone will come back, or no. To me, it's like all my customers, at least, and the experience that I've experienced in this cafe, they become like family.
Of course.
Like, hey, how's it going, John? Hey, how's it going, Mary? Because you come 2-3 times, and it's normal.
Yeah.
And to me, that's 100. And I to this day we're proud. We carry a 4.9.
That's
Google,
good. That's good.
and
There's always that little small percentage.
Yeah, it's okay, and
Yeah.
it is what it is. You can't, at the end of the day, you can't keep everybody happy. And now we go to the same question back to the customers, or because I've been there and I experienced it. Sometimes I'll tell my manager, Damien, shout out to Damien, my GM in Santa Maria.
Okay, shout out.
And I tell him, hey, what's going on, bro?
Absolutely.
Esta persona, y le digo, and I'm like, nah, and until I experienced it, I'm like, okay, I know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And I still, kept my composure, good everything, because it's very hard for someone to, kind of now these days.
Yeah, get into you. So
Yeah, I carry a nice circle around, I don't
Yeah.
let nothing, kind of come to a certain, thing. So
Yeah.
I told me, it's all good, but yeah, I understand,
Yeah, no. One time when somebody told me once, they're like, if you can get everybody to tell you you're doing a great job, but there's always that one slight person, it's not you guys, because there's so many people saying so many good things about you. It's that person either had a really bad day and you caught them off guard and they were having a bad day and they just wanted to blow some steam, but it's not you, it's them. So I've always taken it like that.
And I experienced those before, actually, at the cafe, and I told everybody, one of my other managers, I used to work there, and she's like, oh my God, you handle that so good. She's like,
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I understand, because when I used to go to this other bakery, go for painting, you go for some pan, some cafecito in the morning.
Of course.
Some lady told me in one of the bakeries, she's like, hey, amigo, she's like, tú nunca estás triste. Siempre, every time I see you, you're always smiling. You're never you're always the same person. And I told her, I think her name's Doña Carmen. Ay, Doña Carmen. No, mamá, ¿sabe qué? Pues todos tenemos problemas.
Absolutely.
Tienen problemas de dinero, tienen problemas de matrimonio, familia, whatever, no sé, etc. But being sad or being down is not gonna fix it.
Of course.
I'm not saying ignore it, act like nothing happened. No, I'm just saying, and plus, work or something, they don't have to see what's going on like that,
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's one of the number one things, And the lady walked in and I can see it in her,
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, and I, being polite like always. And she was just like, how's your day going? She don't want to answer my questions,
Yeah.
And then almost by the time I was done, I was like, oh my God, this is the one that's gonna leave, Is that one. And I think Damien acababa de calentar unos pan de queso. He was gonna give them out. Someone had already left. So I grabbed them from him, Like, hey, have a cheese pan de queso on the house.
Yeah, of course.
Cheese, ham, and jalapeno. And she looks at me, she says, free? Come on. Yeah, lléveselo. Con gusto, oiga. And that did it. I beat
Absolutely.
changed her day. She's like, Ay, pues que muchas gracias porque había empezado un día muy malo, you know? Que Dios la bendiga. Boom,
Yeah,
you know?
because those little details are the things that change people's perspective for the day. You most likely made her day or her whole week, you know?
For sure. No, yeah. So to me, that's customer service. I think is always, key for anything,
Of course, of course. And then how do you come up with new menu ideas or flavors?
So the way actually I came up with my ideas, honestly, it was me and my wife. Shout out to my wife. Shout out. When we go on vacation or whatever, we drive. We stop in hundreds of cafes. And we just whatever thing. And we're like, okay, well, we can maybe try something, with our own, touch.
Absolutely.
And we go from there. Then I'll go to my house and you'll see the 10 syrups, on the counter. And then, and so that's how I do it. I have a full coffee bar in my house,
That's awesome.
And we practice and we throw syrups away all the time,
Okay.
Sometimes it just don't work. You might think, peanut butter, for example, I bought a Reese's Pieces one, a really expensive one, actually. I don't know if you saw it at the cafe. And yesterday I was making one.
Okay.
And I did 4 of them. No buenos.
No.
Nah, so I had to dump it. There go $50.
Damn. But those $50, imagine out of those $50, you would have come up with a really great flavor or something like that.
Yep. So I actually have one that's about to release next week. Whew. Fire.
Okay, we got to check that out. What was the moment that made you think, damn, this cafe is really going to take off?
The moment, that's a good question. I think when I rebranded and I opened, actually, no, I'm lying. When I rebranded, I had to close for 3 days.
Okay.
So we're working night shifts. We're doing a Venetian plaster. Shout out to my Lily. I forgot the name, but Lily. Shout out to Lily.
Is she your distributor?
No, she's the one that did my Venetian plaster.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. She took a course just like I did when I started my resin floor. So she's a little entrepreneur too. She likes to work. So she's like, hey, let me try it on the walls or whatever. And I'm like, yeah. So we shared ideas and everything. So we're working night shifts there. We work like 3-4 days night shifts. When we're close, we would work. And then I came to the point where I'm like, okay, I know I need to shut down like for 2 solid days.
Of course.
So when I shut down, the amount of people that was showing up, they're like, oh, you guys, because I had everybody knew we were rebranding.
Yeah.
When I started, people asked questions, hey, what's going on? When they saw the new sign, and people always want to know the chisme,
Of course.
what's going on, what happened.
We're Hispanic.
We're ready for story time. Like, I'm not yet. Nah, so
that's gonna come out in the next novela in Telemundo.
Yeah, 2026. Hopefully. I mean, so yeah, they're like, I heard I would tell people we're closing,
Of course.
Oh no, we're rebranding, but we love the place. And I'm like, when people see the new, because we put all the heart and we rebuild it with the heart and soul. I mean, imagine we got it, our lease, and I think it was around this time in 2024.
Okay.
Because we opened March 2025, if I'm correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So, when you're building it, and no one can experience that but yourself, when you do it,
Absolutely. Sometimes you have to work in silence.
Yeah. I did my own floor there, I said another coffee shop, my brother, designed it with me, my wife, my sister-in-law, and everybody. So, when you're there, it grows, sentimental and now when we redid it, we had 2 options. My brother's like, hey, we can either close, shut doors down and pay our monthly lease.
Absolutely.
Save labor, and it is what it is. We can ride with it, talk tax write-off, That's why me knowing that you're going to fail.
Absolutely.
That you're not going to meet those numbers that I told you were going to meet,
Of course.
If you, whatever I showed you, because I can sell you, quick, that's the way I'm a salesman. I can
Absolutely.
Sell you whatever, doesn't matter where I go. My brother Frank, he'll tell me, hey, get him, he knows, so it's like, but that's not my plan, I told my buddy, I kept calling me and he's like, hey man, what's up, like let's do it, I'm all like, hey, like honestly, like I can't, first of all, that's not my plan, that's not, when I bought the first cafe was for me not to be there, because that's how they, sell you a franchise, you expect,
Absolutely.
100%, say you don't have to be there, I have 5 kids, and my plan was not taking more any time from me, from my family, my time was to, it's another business, okay, but this is how it is. Okay, well, it looks amazing, and no, it's actually taking everything from me, my time, my family time, sacrifices and a lot more, but I know there's a big outcome.
The good thing is that you're talking about realistic things that have happened, and just so people who do view this, like I mentioned again, businesses go through different roads, and honestly, just watch who you invest with, because not everybody's there to help you out, honestly.
Yeah, 100%, and that's the biggest thing, so I know if I'm gonna, it's like when we hire people, and people hit me up all the time, hey, queremos ir a pintar con ustedes, and unless we know that we're gonna assure them 40 hours, a normal job at least,
of course,
right? We don't hire them. Or we tell them, hey, tenemos jale para los fines de semana.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna get someone, lie to them just because they're amazing, and bring them and tell them the dream, sell them on something, and then give them Tuesdays a week.
Absolutely.
To me, that's not that's not cool. And so same for here. Like for that business, I'll tell them, hey, honestly, you want to get it? Okay, te va a costar esto, and you're only gonna profit this much. So
yeah, be realistic in the beginning.
And a lot of people take it the wrong way. A lot of people be like, he's being a hater. He don't want to help me. And I'll be like, well, here's
I'm just being realistic.
Here's a book, and if anything, but I believe in everything. We have faith, we have hope, and I know, and I mean, we've been proving anything, and that goes back to the same thing on. A lot of people, my dad would always say that. We always look at something and say, esa persona saying that, and my dad always says, nope. It's not. It's como mi dad dice, no importa lo que hagas, nomás hazlo bien al 100. Si vas a vender paletas, sé el mejor paletero. Si vas a vender elotes, sé el mejor elotero. Si vas a vender, whatever, but dedicate 100% to it.
Of course.
And it's true. I see people and they say, that's a taquero, but that taquero either has a really good salsa or he's selling tacos every day. And people, they see a nice truck and they're like, let's sell tacos and they go and open a taco truck and then they fail.
Of course.
But I don't think it's a business, it's a person, I think because we proved that, of course. Anything that we've done, we've succeeded,
and because you've done it 100% dedication,
100%, whether it's a lot of people think it, they see me, I'm the face of it, but it's a team behind it,
Absolutely.
Me, my brother Frankie, and then all that goes back to home, his wife, my wife, the kids, everybody. One way or another, we all sacrifice.
Yeah, because you need a support system. You can't, even if you're working 40 hours a day, you still need a support system, mentally, physically, a little bit of everything,
Yeah, and then the way we work, we know we don't both have to be in one place, so we like to, dominate. Like I've been in the cafe since 2024, 100%. I step aside from other business, which is Speedboy, and my brother Frankie's there 100%.
Yeah.
So he takes more work because he covers me now.
Absolutely.
So, and now my other brother, I think everything happens for a reason. My other brother got he used to be a police officer, so he got medically retired. So he joined the team.
Okay.
So he backs us up. He kind of and he's a new sales rep in town, so he's hot. Shout out to my brother Robert.
Shout out.
He's the salesman of the year right now.
That's good.
Selling here, selling there, boom, boom, hey. Me and my brother Frankie, we hype him up, motivate him, tell him how we did it, and he's there. So it's a team.
Is he your youngest brother?
He's my oldest brother.
Oh, he's the oldest brother.
He's my oldest brother.
And he's hustling. He's
hustling. Yeah, though he has it. I'm telling you, we all have it. We all have my dad's, DNA, and that's what my dad is. He's always been a hustler.
That's good. And then we'll kind of move around to your resin floors business. How did you get into resin flooring?
So resin flooring, I got into it because once again, we're in the painting business as well. So we've been Speedboy painting since 2011. So that's we've been there for a while. So we've always done painting, and then we go into epoxy because my dad's been in the painting business for over 35 years.
Right on.
So my dad's a boss. He ran the company for years, structured it, made it succeed, made it work, And then when we grew up, my brother Frankie worked at the owner the ex-owner used to own a paint store in Salinas. So my brother Frankie was also a painter, and then he goes to be the manager in the paint store, and then here comes me. So I'm right behind, same thing. I graduated high school. My dad's always been like 100% supportive. Hey, quiero que seas doctor, like the typical Mexican. So my oldest, she's always been smart, So she went to college, university degrees. My brother Robert, he always wanted to be a cop. So my dad said, okay, cool. You don't want to be a painter? My dad's always wanted to be someone to become a painting contractor.
Of course.
Because he saw the succeed, money, everything, And he liked to trade. So my brother Robert's like, that's not kind of what I want to do. I want to be a, oh, my dad's okay. Vámonos,
Yeah.
I'll back you up, whatever, 100%. My brother Frankie, I think he went like to the medical field sometime, and then he went back to a painter. He's always been a painter. So he always had like 2-3 jobs. He's always been hustlers. He was a painter. I think he was like, he says he used to paint like from 7 to 4, and then hospital like from 5 to like 5 a.m. He was working, and then I grew up because I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest of 5, and I became a painter, and then so we're all painters. So we always wanted to get our license. The plan was to get our license. So then I jump around other companies, and I, keep learning. I've been painting since I was like 9, 10.
Yeah.
Since I can remember, because my dad's always been a painter.
Yeah.
So when we were painting, a lot of people don't understand that till this day. I think we deal with that. A lot of people see us and they say, oh, they're young. But we've been painting our whole life.
Yeah.
So my brother Frank takes a test, becomes a contractor, gets a contractor license. And then him and my dad started by themselves working because, at the time, if you're in start, you have no work. And so I was working for another painting company. I kept moving around. I've always been the guy that been wanting, more. And people would know us. They'd be like, hey, you're Humberto's youngest, huh? Come work for me, offer you a little bit more money. And like, no, I'm really happy where I'm at until I wasn't comfortable, or I thought it was the right move. Then I made the jump,
Of course.
And my brother, and I would help them in the weekends, because they had like enough work for themselves, And then it came to the point where my brother's like, hey, we need you. Like, that's it. You're done.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, over here, John was my ex-boss at that time. He's like, nope, tell John, that's it. So then, then I went on board. And it's and then we brought one of my uncles, and that's how it starts. So we've always been, and even with the other company, we've always done epoxies.
Okay.
We've always done epoxies. So by that, when the resin comes out, back to the original question, resin is just a different product. If it makes any sense.
Yes. No. Yeah.
That's it.
The thing is, I'm familiar with it, but just like, how did you get into it? Like, I know you said that you've been doing it before, but how did you get into it? Just because you knew before from other businesses, and that kind of brought you to...
Oh, how did I see it? I saw it on this guy that actually owes me some money out there.
Gonna go break some legs.
Yeah, nah, he's not from here. So it's I saw his a resin guy, and his name is Don Resin.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw him on TikTok something. I saw the product, and I had already done it because my rep from Sherwin had already took me to it. And I had actually a floor because I have proof of that, because he's like, oh, I put you on. He didn't put me on,
Yeah.
I just admire his work.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I'll pay for the class, just like people take my class, So I actually hired him, and I brought him here to Salinas. We did it at my sister's house.
You want to kind of give just like a little bit detail about your class, just so people on TikTok, anybody watching right now, can be like, hey, I want to take your class.
Yeah, for sure. My class is a 3-day. It's a 3-day course. We the first day is a prep. I show everybody how the prep, and we go hands on 100%. I always say the only way to learn is to do it.
Absolutely.
So it's funny when everybody shows up and they're they actually got no work. One of my other students in the last class, he's like, hey, Tony's smart. He's all like, what's his name? It's not Fernie. It's shout out to Fernie though. It's Julio. Shout out to my boy Julio from Chile. He's like, hey Tony, you're a smart guy. So like, you took all this class for us to do the work.
Free labor.
Facts. Yes sir. No. So we usually do a job. I usually have a job that's really cool. They'll be, hey, you know what? I'm gonna have some students. I'm gonna be behind my job 100%. I just want them to teach them how to prep, prime, and then design. I'm gonna be the designer, but I just want you, and everybody. I like to be upfront, that way owners don't show up and see 10 people like in their garage, like, hey, what's going on,
Yeah, it takes 10 people to do one floor.
For sure. So it's hands on 100%. We go and then we start prepping. And when prepping, if there's tile, we remove the tile. If there's whatever is there, we prep. We grind it all down. So the first day is full prep and seal. We prep the whole concrete and then we seal it complete with the moisture barrier. And then the next day we do a light sand, then we prime and we design. And the third day we put the clear coat.
Absolutely.
That's it. If everything goes right, because floors are, they can go like,
no, you could go sideways on
they
the
go
floor,
real
honestly.
quick, So yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And then once from there, it's once again it's in the student. It's whoever takes a class. I have a guy from what's in that? I think it's Atascadero, close by to Santa Maria. He took a course. No Instagram, no social media. I have proof text messages. I called him right now. He's like, gracias, like you changed my life,
Yeah.
He's made like over a couple grand, 100 grand,
Absolutely.
in 6 months,
Doing those floorings, honestly, you could come up, honestly.
It's just, how bad you want it, how bad
Yeah.
you're going to do it,
The only thing that we got to be realistic about too is your hustle is one, and then two is all the material that you actually need, like the grinder, the vacuum.
And that's actually not bad. You get all that like for less than 15 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm partnered up with a pretty cool company, and they I pass on you his contact, and he takes care of you from material to your grinder to everything. Is a one-stop shop. So it's pretty easy.
Even the, what is it called? The trailer?
Even the trailer.
Dang.
Facts.
That's a really good special.
No, for sure.
No, I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe
facts.
it.
And they're he's from the East Coast, but they work super cool, super professional. You need anything, you call him. Hey, his name. Shout out to Anthony. That's Anthony. He
Your tocayo.
Yep, my tocayo. He's right there, right. He backs us up 100%. Yeah.
Right on. And then based off of everything that we just talked about, what's the biggest misconception about the resin work?
Misconception.
Yeah, like what people don't understand, just the way how with the cafe.
Oh yeah. So the biggest misconception on the resin is the material. When people see the price, they go, "Whoa," no more.
This ain't Home Depot.
Yeah.
The Rust-Oleum.
Rust-Oleum.
There we go.
No, so what it is, honestly, resin, I always tell people it's a luxury. In my experience, and actually I kind of experienced that same thing like the cafe. When I brought that guy over, when I seen his do my job that I hired him for, because I paid him, I'm a very observant, so I was observing and I counted 10 buckets. So then I had the same size garage right across the street, which is my brother Robert's house.
Yeah.
He's actually my first
Client.
my first client for free, But
You had to practice somewhere.
no, for sure. And shout out to my brother Robert, because I told him I redid it already. He was my first one, and I already took care of him, so I paid my dues.
Absolutely.
I told him, hey, and actually it was good. His floors always look good. And when we did it, he's always been down. He's like, I don't give a fuck, fucking do my floor. He's always down. That guy don't care. So, but I already redid it. I told him last time. It was funny. He texted me one time, hey, what's up? When you gonna redo my floor? So I redid it, But he has a Warriors color on his. Pretty bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a big Warrior fan. So, people going back to it, I ordered it and I gave him the square feet, and he says, "Oh, I'm gonna send you 5 buckets." So I got received them out, and I tried it and it didn't work. Like it didn't come out how I expected it to come out.
Of course.
And I'm like, oh fuck. And I know why, because and that other guy brought another 5 buckets. So I called him, the other guy, and I'm like, hey man, I have a question. He's like, oh well, yeah, that's depending on the square feet that you want to apply that. I said, yeah, no, but you taught me with your style, so
Yeah.
don't cheat me on the things that, oh no, well that's my secret, So,
Yeah.
so then I learned, okay, well it's more material than what it is if you want to get a good design,
Of course.
So that's, and it's expensive. So, typically, 2-car garage, at least me, you have people right now that are starting the business, unfortunately, and have, kind of messed up the market. So now honestly, I do it for all my personal clients. I'm more of a selective, I get a lot of calls and be like, oh, well, we want you to do it, but we have this guy, super close by here that, do it for.
We don't compare prices.
Correct.
Sorry.
I said, hey, Rum, do it, go ahead, good luck. So And that's same for our painting business. We have that. We work so hard that we've structured that we can decide who we work for. Who we don't work for.
Yeah.
And just because sometimes it's not worth it.
Of course.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the resin.
It's not worth the headache. Honestly.
It's not worth the headache, and honestly, it's a big risk. Floors can go bad really quick.
No, yeah. Just like we kind of focus more on cabinets, on refinishing cabinets. So if you hire the wrong person, they will peel in like less than 3 to 6 months.
Facts. Yep.
And then what's the most challenging type of floor that you've ever worked on?
Actually just experienced it here in Salinas. I did it for one of my accounts, one of my best accounts. They hired me to do their lunchroom, and I just redid it. And we did a step 1 through 4 just like we do them. Like no cutting corners, nothing, and it still failed.
Okay.
Still failed. So it's rare when I call my reps, like my flooring reps are like, oh, what's up? They know it's something.
Of course.
And I might do this failed again, and that's honest truth. We ain't embarrassed to say, we learned,
Yeah.
So it's like, well, did you put a moisture barrier? Fuck, of course I put a moisture barrier, And he says, okay, you have your moisture gauge? I'm like, yes. Did you try it? No.
Yeah.
Okay. I passed, right? I'm like, no, I didn't, honestly. It's like, okay, well, I know we never do, but check it out. Sometimes it's more than, and it was a simple mistake. So when we moisture checked it, that thing's like deep,
Wow.
It deep enough to where we have to, even if I would have done it like better, we would have still failed because the amount of moisture that was in, we need to get the special moisture barrier over East Coast, right? Which I had to get certified, for it because it's crazy. No matter what I would have done to that floor, even if he would have done it, we would have still failed. That's why we read it, And, we had to do the special product, another moisture barrier, but actually bites into the concrete, It's more industrial because it's in the food facility is like an ag, so a lot of water sits,
Of course.
So, that's been my biggest challenging floor because I had to redo it. So I did it one time and it looked amazing.
Absolutely.
It looked amazing, but you start sealing like bubbles,
Yeah.
And damn, so we back up our work 100%, and that's one of our good accounts. And okay, let's get it, ni modo, There goes the profit,
You had to do what you had to do.
Yeah, so we got it all out and we redid it the second time, and that's it. We after the second, I think I get fired for sure. But then again, the company backed us up too.
Of course.
They backed us up. They helped us out with some product, and we all make it work. And even my account, they're like, hey, you know what? We'll help you guys with material because they know it was in a.
It wasn't your guys' fault.
Yeah.
And then what should customers know before hiring someone for resin floors?
That they are since the day we start prepping, we need 5 days, 5 straight days. Like 5 days. And I think that's the biggest challenge because when you do homes and stuff like that, people don't want to, sometimes they got to get hotels,
No, absolutely.
When you're doing labor, and it's just the chemical, it's just the bacteria, miscellaneous that, they can, contamination. And when resin is very, if you don't do it right, ya iba a estar licando como güey otra vez.
With the grind.
And I'd rather grind concrete than grind resin, I'll tell you that right now. That's you don't want to do.
And then what separates your resin work from others in the industry?
Honestly, I think my experience, once again, I do cement urethane. I don't know if you know what cement urethane. So I do cement urethane on a weekly basis. I just don't really record and post because Instagram don't want to see that. They want to see the nice, but I work.
They want to see the pretty colors.
Yeah, they want to see the pretty colors. You don't want to see a concrete, whole bunch of salad and work. But every Sunday, by the grace of God, we're blessed to be repairing floors, and we repair. We put, aventamos nivel. We do different type of work. So to me, the prep, it's, and this as a painter. Anyone can paint,
Absolutely,
but not anyone can prep.
Yeah.
So our prep game is
No, that's what I tell everybody that I hire. I'm all like, do you? Because they always come up with, oh, I know how to roll, I know how to spray. It's like, but do you know how to prep? It's like, if you don't know how to prep properly, then I don't want you.
For sure. Yeah, no. So even us growing up, when I started painting, my dad's like, no, aquí tienes que lijar, like, oh, we're painting. It's like, no, primero Cualquiera va a llegar a pintar, pero no cualquiera te va a llegar a preparar.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
So we go back to that. To me, what separates me is that now, you have, it's not bad, right? But you have a lot of, young entrepreneurs that want to take the course, and they come and take it, but they don't have a lot of experience, right? And they come and take my course, and I think we highly consider we're very big in prep, So I won't touch anything besides, I don't go to step 2 until I'm 100% with my prep. So a lot of people don't know how to prep. You took the course and you get a perfect floor, right? But in the real world, there's not a lot of perfect floors.
No.
Hay, garages donde tienen niveles, donde tienen que, you have to put more material there to level out, and honestly, I tell all my students, the easiest thing on the resin, it's the finish.
Yeah.
It is the resin. The design is the easiest thing. The hard part is getting to it.
Yeah. All the prep work beforehand.
Because before you touch it, it has to be like glass. Like, you can't have no little.
And that's what clients don't understand either. They believe that it's like, I've gone into works and it's a 2-story house with like 8 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and they're like, "Will you be done in a day?" No. They're like, "Oh, this other person told me they'd be done in a day." Yeah, because they're just gonna slap some paint and make it look pretty. That's it.
And that's what we face. Like when we do like house painting, right? The guy will tell us, "Hey, we have another bid. And it's 4,900. You're at 7,900." But he does say that he's gonna finish in 2 days. And I'm like, "No, boss, we need 5 days."
Yeah.
Like it's a exterior stucco 5-bedroom home. And my crews, they move pretty good.
Yeah.
Maybe should we're done in 4 to be realistic. But in 2 is like they ain't even pressure washing. They're just spraying.
I've seen projects like that.
So
Trust
it's
me.
like, and that's what we I actually do a lot of work up here in San Jose.
Okay.
We do a lot of schools.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but that's our summer. We do a lot of schools. And we were actually work even with the union. Like this summer, we got hired by the union.
Right on.
Because we did 2 schools that needed us to be in union. So we got hired for a year. I think it's a contract. I forgot how long it was, but we work up here a lot, and that's what we face because it's a public bid. So you have people from like LA come and bid us, people from up north, even more up north. A lot of Greeks, come and they're painters, so they bid like for $100,000,
No, yeah.
when the budget's like over 4.
Yeah.
And now the union has gotten very good on them, so that's what we face all the time.
No, yeah. No, I've been trying to get subcontracted by some of these bigger companies, and it's like the prices don't match, honestly.
Yeah.
Like they try to underbid you way too much.
For sure, 100%.
And then, what's the most rewarding part of the paint industry?
I think the after. When you see it, you're, oh damn, like it was like this and now it's like this, because painting, what painting, I always tell people, you want to change your house, paint your house and change your floors. The biggest things, you paint the whole house, and I think I painted my house like twice this year. Like, my wife, hey, I want this wall, I want this wall. So I paint your house. To me, it's the after, like when people go, when they see their home, especially like I have a lot of clients, I'll be like, hey, we're gonna be on vacation, and you guys can come in and take care of that inside and outside. Like right now, we're doing one here in Monterey, in Coral de Tierra, one of our good clients, and she's like, I'm gonna be in Paris for a month. So we went and we painted the inside and we painted the outside. And she came back, and when I had my metas on,
Yeah.
and when she saw it, she just went, whoa, like what happened,
Yeah.
because we changed our whole colors, so.
Yeah.
So to me is that, the reaction of the customer.
And then, what project in the painting has meant the most to you?
What project in the painting has meant the most to me?
Yeah, like you were kind of just like.
I think our first project, 100%.
And what was your first project?
Our first project was Taylor Farms. Shout out to Taylor Farms. To this day, they keep us busy. We've been on them for 10 years plus.
Right on.
Yeah. We did we did their Gonzalez plant. It was I think it was like, my brother Frankie said, I don't want to lie, but I think it was like 100,000 square feet facility, or 150,000 square feet facility. It's huge. When we went on our own, my dad's ex-boss, my brother's ex-boss, pretty much fired him, because they knew we got our license.
Yeah.
They knew Frankie had his license, and they felt, my dad structured that company. So they felt weird. So they started kind of getting they started being weird. Let's just say that, you know, they got weird to the point where they just stopped working there. And we took on that project because people knew us already. Like they've always known us for, you know, working, and you know, we had our license, and you know, here comes us. You know, we knew how to do the work. We're not businessmen. So me and my brother Frankie would go in there, and, walk into the, you know, construction, and you kind of, you know, boy, you feel everything there. You know, you feel different races, different, you know, people. So you know, and where, you know, here comes me, 20 young and 20, you know, 20-year-old Tony and 23-year-old Frankie, you know, because he beat me by 3 years. You know, trying to get the job, and you know, be asking questions and calling, showing up, and the guy even from the plant, and so he vouched for us, you know. So we went in the trailer, and we bid it, and we got the job. We didn't make much money, but we got the job, you know, and we got our foot in the door. So in that job, we were working. I remember one day my dad worked there 17 hours. It was my brother-in-law, which is my main foreman right now. Shout out to my brother-in-law Arnie. Me and him, he was working for another company at the time, and he would come and help us. And my brother Frankie was mixing on the bottom. We're applying. I don't know if you ever used the bowl, but it's an epoxy, 2-part epoxy. So Frankie was down there drilling, you know, and we're in a scissor lift, you know, 40 feet in the air. So we'll come down, and Frankie would fill us in the scissor lifts and go back up. So it was me and my brother-in-law Arnie, same scissor lift. My dad was active, super active at that time, painting too. It was him and some other guy, which were like the top of the line, you know. And it was me. I remember me and brother Arnie me say, "Ay, no que dejaron a tu jefe, güey."
Yeah.
Y veníamos like, my brother Frankie said he was in the bottom. He said, "Dude, I would see you guys up there, and it was you and my dad. I was like, oh damn, these guys are getting it, you know." It's because we're doing spraying they're like 6 feet metal beams.
Yeah.
So one was spraying on one side, we're spraying on the other side.
Yeah.
You know, and it was the most rewarding because when we got done, shout out to Jeff, you know, he was like the in charge architect or whatever his position was there. He's all like, "Come here, guys." It was me, my dad, and my brother Frankie. Completed. They were about to fire it up, and he looks up, and you know, all the lights. It's a huge building.
Yeah.
Like huge. And he's like, "You see this video? I sent it to your ex-boss." He said, "He swore to me that you guys will never be able to do this."
Dang.
And I just sent it to him. Look, because this guy's from, I don't know where he's from, but he don't care, you know.
Yeah.
He's bold, he don't care, you know.
Yeah.
So he sends us a text message and says, "You lying fuck," you know, because he said he was racist. He said he didn't like him. He was racist.
Yeah.
Like, you know. So, or whatever. I forgot what it was, but he's like, "I'm proud of you guys."
Yeah.
You know, and I saw it in my dad's eyes where he says, "Fuck," you know, like, we did it, you know.
He ate his own words.
Yes. And we go back to being the most rewarding because when we did that job, we didn't have no funds.
Yeah.
You know, we were a business, yeah, but we didn't have the money. Like, I remember my uncle was working for us, and like just like real, like my brother-in-law Arnie would come and help us. I had this other guy that his name was Ace, an older guy, and like not many people. It was like 6 of us, and we told them, "Hey, you know what? Honestly, we have this project, but we don't have the money.
Yeah.
We don't have the money to pay you. Not yet, you know.
Yeah.
But if you guys are all down to stick with it, then it's cool. And if not, pues no pasa nada, you know."
Absolutely.
And the ones that stuck, they're like, no hay pedo, hay que darle, todos no tenemos ni jale, decían, you know. And we would, you know, buy them their lunch every day. And, you know, I remember, you know, a lot of things get involved in this job because, you know, like my wife was still working at that time, you know, like we were not getting any income in, so.
Absolutely. Yeah. The thing is, the grind and the hustle of being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, about being a small business, honestly, like the what it takes to get there, honestly, and, you know, seeing yourself before to seeing yourself now, it's a big difference, right?
For sure. And, you know, things, you know, you'd go through situations where, and I would be like, "Hey, you know, we're going to make it."
Absolutely. And then you're making it. So based off what you told me right now, what advice would you give someone wanting to start in the trades, not just painting, but just in the trades in general?
I say that I think people's biggest mistake is everybody asks me, and I've helped out plenty of people. Me and my brother Frankie always sign for people like when they become contractors and they work with us and they meet the standards. That obviously is not going to be a knucklehead that asking you, hey, just sign for me,
Yeah.
And they put in work. Like I'll sign for them. I have no problem signing for people because having a license, it's not hard.
No.
It's one of the easiest things there is. Being a licensed contractor. What people don't understand is like it's like having a car license. Anyone can get it.
Yeah.
How you take care of it is what's coming
The
next.
reputation, the
Correct.
status,
So-
how you hold your business as well.
The hardest thing is getting work.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that have contractor's license have no work.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people that are not contractors and they stay busy every day like if they were.
Yeah.
That's how we were. That's what we were. My dad, us, he's always been a painter and he's always had side work. I don't remember growing up and not working on the weekends. My dad would wake up us and that's our family was. And wake up, vámonos.
Yeah.
My dad's always been a hustler. He always had side work. It's to the point where, we're like, hey, we need our license, So I think that's what it is.
And then what has being an entrepreneur taught you about yourself?
An entrepreneur about myself,
Yeah. What has it taught you?
it made me a monster.
Did it?
It did.
You're someone not to mess with.
No, not in that way. No, I mean it in the obviously, in the entrepreneur way, because it opened my eyes to what my capabilities are,
Yeah.
and I haven't found the limit yet.
That's good. That's
So
good.
I'm just getting started.
And then what separates your successful business owner from those who quit too early?
For those who quit too early, a lot of times I think it's the dedication and the faith. A lot of people are non-believers. A lot of people. A lot of people, my cousin told me that one time. My cousin Chris, he's like, hey, you know what, primo? You can't teach the hustle on somebody.
Yeah.
You can't put the hustle on it, I see you, he saw me trying to help somebody. He's like, you just can't. I get what you're going, but I told him that same thing like 10 times. It's like, you can't.
It's like how the saying goes, you could teach a man how to fish, but the man, if he's not willing to learn how to fish, he's never going to get a fish.
Right. And a lot of the times, it goes back to the cafe, right? A lot of the baristas that are there now, I don't think none of them had experience. And all my baristas are top baristas.
That's good.
And I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I wasn't a barista. Shout out to Mari, Cita's Cafe in Hollister. You gotta
Right
check
on.
her out. She's taught me how to be a barista.
Yeah.
She's the one that trained me when I had bought into the company.
Yeah.
She was the operations manager, and she taught me.
Yeah.
And she told me, hey, if you're teachable, it's all good. The problem is when you hire someone that's not teachable.
Yeah.
So if you want to, and same thing to our business, all of our guys, our main people, nobody was a painter. I have 3 brothers under me, and they all used to work in the strawberry fields.
Okay.
I used to hire one of them, and then Georgie, he's like, he would hit me up cuando se acababa la fresa.
Yeah.
Hey, ¿qué onda? No hay fresa. I had Simón, vente. Because we always do a lot of industrial work.
Yeah.
And I'm all like, and yo le decía, my dad always told us, yo no ocupo que sepas, yo más ocupo que quieras aprender.
Yeah.
De eso yo me encargo,
Yeah.
So we taught them, and other guys that we have as well, we trained them, We have a strategy, Same for my cousin that lives with me, Vladi. He's the youngest in the crew, and he's the best in the crew. He was trained by my main foreman, Arnie.
Yeah.
We give it to him. Hey, whatever you do with this kid, it's on you. If he's not good, you didn't teach him good. He's your student, so make it work.
Yeah.
Remember, hey, make it work.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear you coming telling me because that's your guy, And top of line, no problem,
Of course.
So, and same with our guys. When we started, we carried them. We all did it. Me and my brother started. So then, when we take off, me and my brother Frankie go on full on board. It's just me, my brother, and my dad. Between me, my brother, and my dad, we did everything that we are still currently doing now. We painted Ever Alvarez High School. We painted UC Santa Cruz. We painted Stanford. We painted Cabrillo College. We did we would do big work, and my brother-in-law, my uncle would come and help us in the weekends. So we would hire people on the weekends, or extra hands. So what we do now, that's what separates us, because I know how many doors someone can paint in a day. You know. So for example, my brother Robert, he was new. So, hey, how many doors should be painted? And I'm like, well, me and Frankie used to knock out like 10, 12, but give him solid 8. You know, make him look good. It's like, oh man, this guy's only done 2. He's like, I'm okay, pull him.
Out of here.
You know,
out of here.
So, and that's what separate. I know how long I'm gonna be in here. People don't understand. Like interiors, detail. It's a lot of work. And I think that's what helps us. We've seen it and we've done it.
That's good. That's good that you know exactly the ins and the outs of your industry. How has being a husband shaped your entrepreneurship journey?
You know what? I got married very young. I got married at 19. I'm only 34. So I was married very young. So I've always been my wife's always been supportive. 100%. I don't think I'd be where I'm at without her.
That's good. That's good. And then, what does being an autism dad mean to you?
Well, there you're gonna make me cry. It made me who I am today.
That's good. Honestly,
in a good way. I cry of proudness, because it's not easy, but I have the perfect team.
That's good. That's good. Like we mentioned in the beginning, having a strong team, the roots, a tree can't stay still without the roots that kind of maintain that tree to stand up. What do you hope your children learn from you watching you build these businesses for them?
I think at the end of the day, I just want them to know I was a good dad. And I teach them, I take the little ones with me now. My little Chewy and the youngest, my oldest is Camila. She's my daughter. And then it's my son Anthony Jr., which is autistic, low function. And then it's my son Humberto, which is named after my father. He's high function autism. And then I have Chewy and Evan, which are, they're good. And realistically, well, they're the ones that barely start noticing, because obviously the other 2 can't.
Yeah.
And they asked me, like my son Chewy asked me, hey Dad, what do you do at work? I say, what do you mean what I do at work? I say, yeah, you're working, but what are you doing at work? Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
And I said, well, when I'm at the coffee shop, I make coffee. When I'm over here, now we just give prices. We go talk to our customers, and when we do the resin, he wanted to know about the floor. Like, no, about Anthony's floor, because my son's room has it. And I'm like, oh, that's resin. He's like, oh, I want to do resin. I said, okay, you want to do resin? So I took him to one of the jobs, and he tells me every time now, hey, when are we gonna go back to work? So I tell my daughter, because my daughter, I think she should have been a boy. She's super, she's on it.
She's daddy's little girl.
Yeah, she's 100. I tell her, hey, you gotta be, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta boom, boom, boom. I try to shape her up for the future, and I tell her, hey, this is everything we're doing is for you guys. Like for your cousins, because I'm not the only one. It's my brothers, and just know that everything we're doing now, it's for you guys.
Yeah.
Because there's gonna be the point where we're gonna leave.
Yeah. You're building your legacy.
And this is there's no old money, it's new money. We're building something, and what you guys do with it, then it's gonna either gonna make you or break you.
Absolutely.
Because I think that's everybody's dream, just like my dad. He says, this is for us. And I think there's who told me, my suegro told me that dicho, me dijo que it says que un hijo no sabe ser hijo hasta que es padre.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Y que un padre no sabe ser padre hasta que es abuelo. You know, because if you notice, you know how usually grandparents are very, you know, like lovey-dovey to them. You used to smack me when I used to do that. You know? So
that's what we were talking with Angel the other day about. I don't know what had happened. He's like, "What would have happened to you?" I'm like, "My parents would have smacked me."
Yeah. So, you know, so to me is that's what it is. You know, I just want them to know that, you know, that everything we did was for them. You know?
And then, what is the biggest sacrifice you've made for your family?
And I think it's that same answer, that same question, you know. I think that, well, obviously my kids are kids, you know, they don't see, you know, but obviously they don't see me there. So for me, it's a huge sacrifice because, you know, we all, you know, I have a very busy schedule, you know. So, you know, I'm a soccer coach for both of my kids, you know, so that takes a lot of time. And, you know, sometimes my kids are like, "Dad, how come you're not here?" You know, or and be like, I was working, I was trying to, you know, in my head, but they don't understand that yet, you know, because I didn't understand it. Now I do. You know, when I grew up, I remember my dad used to be a little, you know, hard on us. I would think, you know, sometimes my dad don't like us, or, but no, you know, now I thank him, you know, because thanks to that, he made us who we are today, you know.
Stronger and everything.
He taught us, you know, principles, taught us how to work, you know, how to, everything. So to me, it's, you know, a big sacrifice. And sometimes, you know, not everyone agrees to it, or, you know, you have different visions of it, you know. But at least me, I know that I was, you know, born for this, and I know this is who I am and this is what I want to do. So I saw a podcast on, I think it was Dana White, where they asked him, you know, and what he says message, you know, kind of related to me. You know, he says, "Hey, I want to work. I missed out a lot. I missed out a lot on the younger. That way, when they were like teenagers, I can, you know, kind of, because when they're young, you can, you know, you can still get away to like probably like 6, you know, 5, 6. I think my youngest are 5 and 6 right now, and I think right now they need all my attention.
Yeah.
So those whole 4 years I've been working, you know, I still working, but now it gets a little tougher.
Yeah.
Now I have to make time. Like my son Chuy, he's very smart. He's coming, "Hey, Dad, you said you promised me you were gonna buy me some shoes." And I'm like, whatever I tell him, he remembers really good. So I know I can promise him something and not come with it, you know.
Yeah, that's how my son is right now. He's 4. But yeah, it's funny.
So you know, it's just, that's my biggest sacrifice. You know, being away for so long. You know, my wife feels it. You know,
Yeah.
Hey, you know, you're not here. You know, I'm by myself, the kids. So, but once again, it's a team. I say, you know, you hold the house down, I'll hold us down outside, you know?
Absolutely.
Right now, I have another, me and my brother Frankie said that we give each other maybe, 15 years that we can grind, like, without feeling it, because I feel like 20, you know? Like sometimes, you know, I'm in Santa Maria, you know, sometimes I'll post later, you know, I'm not, you know, and I'm here and I'm there, and sometimes I get 4 hours of sleep, you know, sometimes I get no sleep, sometimes you get, you know, but it's the entrepreneur life, you know. So to me, that's the bigger sacrifice, you know, being that. But in the long term, I say my 20s and 30s with structure, you know, because if you didn't structure in your 20s and 30s, I think you're on survival from 40 and on. You know, you're just barely making it, you know. So our plan is to work, and that way later on in life, maybe we can be a little bit more relaxed, you know?
Absolutely, 100%. And then how do you balance the grind with the family time?
That comes in pretty easy, I think, to me. Maybe because I have such a good wife, you know? I call her, "Hey, we got," boom, she's packing, you know? She don't care, you know? It's, for me, I think that's easy because I have it easy. And then our schedule is a little weird. We are a little weird because you know, my schedule is Monday through Sunday, so sometimes I'll make my Monday through Wednesday my weekend, you know? I say, "Hey, we're going to work hard." But we're also, you know, my dad says, "Hey, I really wanted to go to Disney for my birthday." And okay, yeah, we can do that, you know? We've been working so hard, and we're going to work a little harder. We're going to save a little bit more money because we're 7, but we're going to make it work.
Yeah, you know? For sure, definitely. How has the community responded to your businesses? Because I know you're in Salinas and you're in Santa Maria, but how has the community kind of backed you up?
You know what? I'm from Salinas, born and raised. Shout out to Salinas. I'll always be from Salinas. You know, you can take me from Salinas, but you can't take Salinas out of me. So, honestly, shout out to all my people from Salinas. I get nothing but love, nothing but love. Even when I post that I have bread for sale in Salinas, people pull up. They'll sell me out. And when I have pop-ups, they come out 100%. I've never. I think I've gotten nothing but love, and same for Santa Maria. Santa Maria, I've grown into them. I consider it my second home. Like. I've even had plans of moving there,
Okay.
like it grew into me, I've grown into my family, I talk about it, all the time, hey, and obviously, it's a family decision, So right now we've been commuting, which has been working out pretty good, but I've gotten nothing but love, honestly.
And then how do you hope to inspire other Latino entrepreneurs?
I like to inspire other people because I believe that everything and anything is possible. It truly is. And you don't even. A lot of people say, "Oh, well, I don't have money." You don't need money. I don't think you need money. You just need to have the heart and the passion.
Absolutely.
Because the money will come. And a lot of people, well, we're not blessed. Well, get to work. Like save some money.
Hustle.
Hustle.
And then if you could serve coffee to anyone in the world, who would it be and why?
Who would it be and why? Serve anybody in the world. That's a good question. If I'm thinking business, to a big brand, to show them that what we got, because we got coffee beans coming out of a whole different game, we changed our coffee beans, we changed a couple of stuff. So I would like to, I actually have a really good plug in a big store where they actually want to taste. They want me to sell them refrigerated cold coffee, like like Starbucks sells. So they're, hey, give me a pallet, I'll sell it.
Yeah.
And I said, and that goes good. So being in the business industry, obviously to a business people that would obviously make us more, profit. If it's family, I would pick my grandpa for sure, in Mexico, to show them what we got,
Right on.
I think for my family, that's one of the most important, people that I have, because from my mom's side, they're both passed away,
Yeah.
So it's only my dad's side, so we're very attached,
Yeah. It's always about family.
For sure.
That's a good thing. And then before we close this off, how about you talk to the community and kind of tell them where to find you? Because I know you have multiple businesses, and I know you got different plans for 2026. So kind of just tell the community where they can find you, promote your Canela Cafe, promote anything else you would like to tell them. Kind of just give a shout out to whatever you want to do.
For sure. Honestly, well, right now we're based, we have our storefront in Santa Maria, California, 230 East Betarrabia Road, Unit D. We're right next to a big vet hospital and right next to Ross in front of Target. That's where we have our storefront for coffee. However, we do have our full setup for our pop-up. I'm barely getting my new canopy because, I have to rebrand everything. So we're full on for Salinas, anywhere, any city, we'll pull up. We're also working on a coffee trailer. Which that's almost, it's a good amount of percentage done. Nice. So we'd be available for private events, stuff like that. And obviously, everyone knows me, we know us. We're from Salinas, so we definitely want to come to Salinas.
Okay, right on.
So that's our goal,
And then tell them a little bit about your painting business, what you serve, what areas you serve.
Yeah, so for our painting business, honestly, we like to stay in the Monterey County. We are very busy and successful in the area. We do only serve Monterey County and South County, all the way from King City to Hollister. We try to stay away from Hollister. Sometimes the drive's a little tough, but we'll do it. Anything you guys need, we can take care of you guys. If you guys have social media, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Mr. Speeddy, and our coffee shop. It's Canela Cafe. It's under Instagram, Canela Cafe. And yeah, I just want to give everybody a shout out. I want to give a shout out to my family, my brothers, my employees, friends, family, everyone that has shown support from the opening, to right now. I've got nothing but love. Honestly, I don't have nothing bad to say, and people people always know who knows us. They know that we're not, some fakes trying to, print something that we're not,
Absolutely.
So, shout out to everybody. I do want to invite everybody. We're going to have a grand opening on our Canela Cafe. So that's going to be pretty pretty good, you know. So
And then when is it at?
I don't know the exact date, but I've been looking at the calendar, and honestly, I think I'm gonna make it in January, you know, because right now it's kind of the holidays.
Absolutely.
And but it's gonna be like in the middle of January, like, you know, second week of January, third week of January.
And then would you ever pull up to San Jose with Canela Cafe just so people can taste it and taste better coffee?
100% all the time. They call me, I'll pull up anywhere, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for anybody watching on TikTok live, for tuning in, and for everybody else. This will be live on YouTube. Thank you very much, Anthony, for stopping by.
Thank you for having me, and I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm very, when it touches to my son, I'm very sentimental because we've come a long way.
Absolutely.
From 0 to 100, nothing but good and blessings. And I feel that a lot of people are afraid of, you know, like, they're embarrassed, you know. I actually consider myself an advocate, you know. I want to advocate for autism, you know.
Absolutely.
My plans are to, you know, I have big plans for the autism community as well. So I think next year is going to be my year where people start, you know, I've been creating everything that I've been doing for that, you know, because my plan is to blow up when it comes to that, because I believe that a lot of people, I have even family members that have kids with autism that, you know, there's even treatments that I'm gonna start taking my son to, that I have big hopes, you know.
Absolutely.
My dream is to have a non-profit for autism.
We could always bring you back on and have you talk more about that as well.
For sure.
Because there's most likely an audience for it. And there's
100%.
people who want to hear about what you're trying to do for them, especially trying to help them out in that way. So we could always do kind of a video just specifically for that, just so we could kind of give you a little bit more exposure as well on that.
And what I could tell people is that if I can give you hope, take it, because it's there. You know, it gets better.
100%.
It gets better. 100%. It gets better. Time. The beginning is tough, but you learn how to live with it, and you learn how to deal with it, and with time and practice and, you know, consistency, like anything else, it gets better. And I have high hopes, you know, even for my children, you know.
I believe it 100%, honestly. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, and have a great day.
Thank you, everyone, for watching.